How's it going, everyone? It's Marshall. Thanks for tuning into the show. We're going to talk about some synths, specifically the Behringer D. And I've got with me here today Mr. CowFood, returning in all his green pasture glory.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing,
Marshall?
How you doing, CowFood?
Good.
So recently, obviously, you know, I did the Behringer D versus the MiniMoog. Came out pretty good. Then went through, did some calibrations, coming out even better. I'll have an updated video on that soon. But you and I had been talking about this Behringer D pretty much since it started circulating on the internet as circulating, is that a thing? Circulating on the internet as a possibility. And I told you I'd have you on here once it came out, and it's out. And I'm really interested to hear what you think about this this Behringer clone.
Well, for I mean, the bottom line is the price. You can get 3 oscillators, and they're fully VCO, just fully analog synth. There's a no-brainer. Just get it. If you can get one, if you can afford it, if you need a good mono analog, which, by the way, can do chords if you know what you're doing with tunings. Get one.
You can tune.
They're bad.
You can tune the oscillators to, like, you know, a fifth or a third or whatever, and get some tones.
Exactly.
You know, you tune one oscillator, then 2 to a different key, basically, and third one to another one. Then you got a chord.
Exactly. So 3-voice chord, potentially.
Right. And, you know, what I think is really cool is, number one, it's portable. I don't have, like, if I wanted to take my MiniMoog somewhere, now I don't have to. I can take this. I think it's definitely close enough. And with all the CV in-out on it, it's like modular gear heaven for some folks, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah. That adds a whole lot of features to it. Plus all the extras that were added with the modulation section. So
yeah. Oh, and the other thing too is, like, so on the release, I don't know if you saw this. Well, actually, let's talk about this. So there's a high pass and low pass filter mode, which that's not on the original, you know, the MiniMoog. Then also for your release, it's called decay on here, and it's a switch. They have a separate one for the filter. So they have a you know, a loudness decay and then a separate filter decay switch on here.
Right, which acts as a dual decay and release. It's depending on what that switch is at, it turns the decay into a release, as far as I know. Or does it? Maybe my question to you, since you had it in your hand, is it when it's in the off position, does it retain the decay position, and then when you switch it to the on position, does it then allow you to do attack, decay, and release? Yeah,
it's just release. So when you switch that on, it just adds tail. It adds, you know, a tail to it. So they call it decay on here, but it's essentially, that's your release. Although you don't, as far as I know, I'm not sure. I guess if you adjust the decay, that will I think that'll shorten up things for you. But yeah, it's a little bit different than almost every other synth I've ever owned, obviously, in terms of how the release works. But for the Behringer D, it's just like the MiniMoog, except they have a filter decay and a loudness decay for the releases for those two. See what I mean?
Okay.
So for, like, your filter envelope, they have a release switch, basically, called filter decay. If that's not confusing.
Right. I was just trying to make sure it didn't, like, leave the decay setting where it was, and then when you switched it on, then allows you to switch on a release, giving you the full ADSR. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it doesn't. It just kills the decay and makes it a release. So it's attack, release, sustain.
Oh, yeah. And that
which is weird.
That could be. To be honest, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, I understand. It takes a little while to get used
That's one of those things where I just am playing around trying to get noises. So I don't know exactly how that comes out on here. It's something I can check that, actually, for this weekend's video. The other cool thing I thought was on the panel as well, we have a mod depth for that third LFO, which I don't, if that has that on the Model D, I don't know where it is. Because you have a knob that you can pull up on to switch from triangle to square for the shape, and then you have a rate. I don't know if that's rate and amount, or I'll have to check that as well, but it seemed like having
the oscillation, the oscillator modulation switch.
No, it's like the very lower right hand side, the little pot there. It's a modulate mod depth.
Oh, the depth.
I don't see that on my MiniMoog anywhere.
Right, that's a new thing too.
I think that's new.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I think this thing is cool, and I'm actually really impressed.
Right. No, I agree. For $300, you're going to get the basic Moog sound. Now, you're not going to get what I've kind of noticed even through YouTube when you compare the two. There's some things I can't really explain it because it's just not really explainable other than the use of the word fat.
Right.
The original Moog has this fatness to it, or even the reissue,
right,
versus this, and I don't know how to say how that is. If it's because maybe it's because of through-hole technology versus SMD, and or bigger capacitors. There's just something in there that's going on with those electrons, so they move around that circuit board that the original just adds this warmth that, and you might think I'm crazy for saying that, or I'm just imagining things or whatnot, but if you really sit down, if you're able to compare the two of them in a room, not just in YouTube or whatever, but I'm sure you know this by now, Marshall, is that there is something more to the original. But
I think
when you record the two,
when you
record the two or you're doing them out live, you're not going to hear that much. No one's going to notice the difference,
and
unless you're just like an aficionado.
Even in a room, it's such a minute difference. And the main thing that was driving me crazy, and when I did the tuning video, someone commented and actually helped me out on this. When I was maxing out the mixer section, like let's say, for example, I have a patch sheet. I'm trying to set up my patch, and it's like oscillator 1, 2, and 3 are full over, right? They're all the way up. When you do that on the MiniMoog, it does not sound the same, and especially with the square waveforms. And someone was like, "Oh, you know, it sounds like those waves are clipping. Why don't you back down your mixers to about 12 o'clock?" And I did that, and it sounded almost exactly like my Model D. And I was like, "Wow, that's crazy." So the thing is that I think that you can get it to sound really, really close, but it's not going to be number for number, you know, like on the patch sheets. If you set up just like the patch sheet says, this is going to sound different than the Model D in some cases, I think, which is kind of what we saw in my comparison video. Although in that video it wasn't calibrated yet, and it still sounded pretty good. The Behringer, that is.
Yeah, it did.
But definitely still...
I would agree. I mean, it's not going to be, you're not going to get the same thing from the patch sheet. I mean, from the reissue to the Model D from the 70s, you'll probably be getting a lot closer. But I think with the D, you'll probably find that, like you were saying, you're going to have to change the values a little bit here and there because they're just not exactly tuned or calibrated is the word, to what the originals were or are. Because just because of the way the pots are smaller, the electronics are a little different. So by just wiggling things here and there, if you know what you're doing, you're going to get really close. Yeah,
and I mean, so like I'm lucky I have a Model D. I can actually do that, and then, but you know, if you're somebody who's picking one up and you set something to patch sheets, it's probably gonna be a little different than what it actually is. But not so drastic that it's, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not a big deal, I don't think.
Yeah. I would agree. I mean, again, $300. There's 3 oscillators. It's a whole. It's just get one if you can get one. I'm not trying to sell Behringer, but
yeah, neither am I. I'm not promoted by them. In fact, I think that they sometimes probably think I'm a pain in their ass with some of the videos I've done. But my point is, I got no skin in the game. Other than I got this because I wanted to, first of all, to see how close it was, obviously. But if it was, it's something that I can use, especially in a mobile setting. I think this is great to be able to take this on the road.
Yeah, definitely. So I had a question on the backside of the synth.
Yeah.
I guess I'll get to this now. There was the oscillator tuning range and one other. There's 6 total.
Yeah, there's range and scale.
Range and scale.
Yeah.
So those potentiometers with the screwdriver are on the back. Mm-hmm. Now I noticed that there was a couple other ones, and I think I saw filter cutoff range.
Oh,
I might have missed that, but I think there is one. Which will, I think, make it even more aggressive or less aggressive, depending on where you tune that, if you will, tuning the filter cutoff. Yeah. Where you calibrate the filter cutoff in this case.
And I'd have to look and see. I don't recall how the board looks, and unfortunately, it's all put together right now. But but the thing I will say is they got the filter. It's perfect. Like, it sounds really good. It sounds. I can't. If I was to close my ears and someone sweeps a filter on the MiniMoog versus the Model D, and you had the patches sounding, perfect, I don't think I could tell the difference. So, A+ on the filter.
That range pot might give you more range or less range as you change it, of course. So I'm thinking that'll give you more character if you want to make it even more aggressive or less aggressive than it currently is standing with. Yeah,
and the cutoff. Yeah, and the weird thing is I mean, you got a little bit of a extra, I guess. So Behringer's knowledge base commented on my tuning video, and they were like, "Yeah, the squares are a little ballsy." So, but the thing is that it's kind of weird that it's coming in from the and I think I remember saying this like after I made that first comparison video, and some of the comments I think it has something to do with the mixing stage. That when you start stacking these, you've got some weirdness going on, and it's just that apparently that they're clipping in the mixing coming into the mixer. So.
Yeah, so I guess in this case they've made their volume pots a little hot.
Right, and they may have done that
because they wanted to do that for the drive, the overload.
Yeah,
give you even more overload. Which I think that's probably why they did.
And I like the way it sounds. Like I like the way it sounds if you're going for the more aggressive stuff. So it's actually kind of cool thinking about it. That if I just back these off, I've got Reissue Model D. If I crank them up, I've got a little bit more distortion coming in. So, and then it, like you said, if there is a trim pot for the filter, which I'm sure there probably is, you could get it going even more. Right.
Well, here's another thing about it, and this is maybe where the Euro rack stuff comes in with the CV gates. In this case, the FC gate input, you can put another LFO in where you can throw it into audio rates. But if your filter cutoff range is cranked up, you can go even higher than audio rate. So you're starting to move into like extreme FM territory. So the FC range pot can actually change your D into something pretty weird. If you're going to throw in something with a...
Change the D into a C? Yeah. Push it forward one letter?
Definitely FM. Hard into the FM.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that range thing will give some people, especially those who want to tinker,
yeah,
capabilities. And if someone's going to rack mount it, might even be a way in the future that someone's going to be able to mod these things where you can get access to those pots without having to tear it open all the time. So,
oh yeah, that sounds like a perfect job for my 3D printer. 3D print some custom case.
It is possible. Yeah,
know?
you can just go back there and tweak what you need when you need it, and not have to worry too much. No, I wouldn't put that on the tuning part of the oscillators. Once you got those tuned,
don't touch them.
Just don't touch those. If you knock them even a little bit, then you're got to go back and fiddle with them. That's why they did that in the old Model Ds. They had, you had to go in there with a screwdriver because they didn't want. If it was something coming out of there, it would go out of tune even more so than it did back in the day.
I have a feeling though that when this was probably tuned in the factory to some degree, but I have a feeling they tuned it to a G. So because they were, it was like a G. Well, once I hooked the tuner up and I was looking at it, and G is right next to A on the keyboard, so maybe somebody in the factory got it mixed up. They need to get the little stickers that they can put on the keys so they know which is which.
Well, they probably slow-boated it from China, and I'm guessing that
it's possible.
Wonders for tuning.
You think it would go out that much?
Oh yeah. If you're going through different climates, and it could. It can go out a full key easily, if not more.
Wow. Well, so then the other thing that was kind of weird is they switched from single turn Trimpots to multi-turn pots for the oscillator tuning. So the one I have is a older version, right? It's already old. So they have a newer one now that has different tuning pots on it. I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is in those pots, really.
Let's make it, you can get even smaller semitones, if you will, while you're twisting it around. I'm guessing if it's got a longer dial for the tuning.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I mean, I'm not an electronics expert, so I don't know. Maybe this is something our buddy Adamski A can comment on, what the difference is between those type of pots. Like, I don't know, because the other ones look like they've got a little more. The single turn ones are just a screw. These are a screw, but they have like a blue housing. So I don't know if there's some. I don't know what madness is going on in there. I don't know if that helps it stay in tune, also, or not.
Probably just a different pot.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I have no idea.
My question to you, Marshall, is the high filter or the high pass filter on this.
Haven't even tried it yet. I haven't had time.
I've heard some complaints about it being like it's not that drastic or effective. But again, I point to the filter cutoff range. Right. But that I don't know. I mean, I've seen some stuff on the YouTubes when I went through it. It seems subtle. It only has like a certain sweeping range on the frequency cutoff.
Well, if you want to fill some dead air here, I can fire it up in the Ableton and we can try it real quick.
Oh, the high filter, high pass?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why don't we, while I'm doing that, let's talk about the new teaser that has been going around.
So I guess Behringer decided to tease yet another synth, the Jupiter 8, and they had a picture of I guess the guys that have been working on these, Midas, that's right, the Midas engineers, and their team, and in Germany. And they had a teaser picture of what looked, I think, what a lot of people thought was a mock-up clone or just a case of the new Behringer Jupiter 8. But upon closer inspection of the photo, I am pretty darn certain that's a real Jupiter 8 that's sitting there, and they're getting ready to tear it apart, to take it piece by piece, resistor by resistor, diode by diode, etc. and remap the whole thing, get everything where they need it, and then start building their own. So that's just a real Jupiter 8 in that photo that they plan to take to pieces so that they can do what they do.
And I had it up. So this is, I've got the article from Synthtopia on the screen here. So the other thing you'll notice is there's a 909. And when we tried to zoom in on this, that says TR909 on it. So that's not...
That's a real one.
Yeah.
I've had a real 909, and that's definitely a real 909. It's got the right color. That color is just this weird off-white that...
Well, when you zoom way in, that looks like 909 on there. Well, you know, because they had...
It's a 909.
Yeah. That's like, it's got that weird, like, off-white, almost like eggshell computer case looking color. Like,
yeah, I don't think anyone's cloned that color yet. And I don't think Behringer can do it. I'm telling you. There's no way. But I personally, I don't see the point of cloning a 909 any longer.
Yeah, Roland's.
There's just too much already out.
And Roland's already got the TR09 is freaking dope, and between that and the TR8, I don't know.
TR08. Which one do you prefer? The TR08 or the TR8?
The TR8 has the sample packs, or well, not sample packs, the expansion pack that you can add, and I think it already came with 909 sounds as well in it anyways.
It did. Comes with a 909 and 808.
I don't know what it is, but the boutique drum machines to me are better than the TR8. I feel like I'm able to use them effectively better for some reason. I don't know why. But so I have a TR8, but it's sitting in the other room. So the TR08 and the TR09, I have both those, and I use those all the time.
Yeah, I have a TR8, and I'm thinking about getting a TR08. I'm hoping the prices will drop, but probably not. I'll just wait. Because right now I can't justify buying one since I have the TR8. So the sounds are close enough where, but on the other hand, the immediacy of the knobs and everything else in the TR08, and then the trigger out for other stuff, makes that thing kind of nice to have. But again, for me, I've already got the TR8, so I can't justify it. I don't know. I don't get the 909 sitting there on that desk with the Jupiter 8. If they're going to clone one of those,
I think they hate Roland a lot.
That's got to be it.
Because they trolled him last year on their 808 day with the picture of the SH101, but it was what was it, a MS 101 or something?
MS 101, yeah, that's exactly what it was. And that was the 808/01A release for Roland Day. And I picked up an 01A. I still have yet to really get into it. You know, the thing that I need is that extender keyboard for it. So.
You need one of the keyboards for him. The keyboard,
yep,
the KB25 or whatever. Is it
25? That's what it is.
It's just K25, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's just K25.
No, once I get $100 together, I'll grab one.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard though. I got this Arteria key step, and
the key step's nice.
It's not the same when it's just being immediately affixed to the thing is kind of just makes it easier for me. But having two separate things that have to power separately gets kind of annoying.
Yeah, so I have the key step, and I have one of the Roland keyboard docks, and I like the key step better. I like having the additional
key step in general.
Yeah,
it's just a good controller.
The range on it is
for the price and everything.
Yeah, it's got more keys on it too. But I've since taken both those out of here, and since I've got this Nord Wave on my desk, that's what I've got now, and that's even better.
There you go.
I think I've almost got this set up here for us to demo this low pass filter. Sorry, this was unplanned. And Ableton is giving me shit right now. I don't know. Maybe we won't be able to do this right now. Let me try launch Ableton one more time. I just had to reboot my audio interface, and yeah, it was giving me shit. I opened like 7 of them after like. Yeah, this is looking better. So yeah, so Behringer cloned the world. What about the Neutron? That's new. That's not a clone, right?
The which?
The Neutron, the semi-modular. Oh, the red dragon synth.
Yeah, that thing is interesting. It's aggressive. That's the one thing I'll say about it. The aggressive sounds.
Have not had time to look at demos of it yet, really. I know that I think somebody that I follow has one. I want to say it's DivKid, but maybe it's somebody else.
Yep, he has one for sure. I think that's the demos I've seen from it so far too. It's from him.
From him.
And
yeah, he's got great videos.
It's got a sound that's aggressive, and for me it's not something I need in my arsenal right now. So for me, it doesn't quite work. But I can see where it does for others in their style of music. And it seems like aggressive is kind of the thing with analog these days.
I've got sound. So let me get this cued over here to this other. Oh, I bet you the Behringer's out of tune already. That's not good. I've had this thing powered on for a long time, like a couple days, but I haven't played it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's probably out of tune. So hold on. One of these is the MiniMoog. Let's mute that one. That's the Behringer. It's out of tune already. Oh, wait, hold on. No, I was dicking with the knobs before. Let me put them back to where they should be. Yeah, something still. This sounds a little better. Can you hear that through the system there, CowFood?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, there we go. That's better. Yeah, that was from me messing with the oscillators earlier. So yeah, let's put this in. We want high pass mode.
That's the one we were talking about.
Yeah, let's see. So that's sweeping it. I mean, it doesn't go. I don't know. It seems okay. It doesn't go as high as I would have thought. Maybe. Yeah, let's go something on the lower end here. So that's all the way.
Well, yeah. In some cases it'll go all the way to the point where it just cuts all the sound out.
Yeah, I haven't.
You roll it all the way out.
Yeah,
let's cut off.
See that? This seems like a normal high pass on mine. Let me add some resonance. When you do that, it doesn't. It's like it doesn't do anything then. Interesting.
It sounds like it almost cut out right there. But then again, I'm listening to it through a cell phone. So.
Right. Grass is on the phone. So and I've got these cans on, and I the way this is hooked up, I don't have the best level, but it sounds normal to me. I don't think it's bad. The low pass
Where
sounds...
does it start? Where does the actual frequency cutoff start to kick in with the high pass?
Yeah, let me see. So probably about 12 o'clock.
So from 12 o'clock to full on is where you start to notice.
Yep.
Okay.
Now I can't hear the ultra low end, so maybe it does start a little earlier, but I can't hear it on these headphones. But yeah. Well,
Gotcha.
I think it's okay.
That's still good.
Yeah. The fact that it even had
It's usable.
the fact that it even had
usable.
a high pass filter on there in the first place is, I was not expecting that. I didn't notice that until I actually got it, and I was like, oh shit, that has a low and high pass setting. So cool. So I guess
I had one last question that I had on this, and maybe this is something you were still planning on doing a comparison with the SEO2.
Yes.
Or SE2, whichever, I forget.
Yes, but, O2, SEO2.
Especially the filter. Now, I'm guessing on this, and this is something you might know and I'm not sure about, but the SEO2, all the knobs are MIDI controllable, right?
Yes. That's not the case on the Behringer. Okay. So there are digital encoders on the SEO2, and when I did my MiniMoog versus SEO2 video, I did some sweeps with a bunch of resonance, and you can hear the stepping. And then we obviously found out from TC from Studio Electronics, that's because they're 8-bit encoders. So the thing is that on that filter, and at least the way this one is set, maybe it's different on other ones, and I guess you can change this if you open it up. But it seemed like the filter on that one wasn't like, so if we just put this back in low pass mode on the Behringer and I sweep this, you know what I mean? That sounds good. The SEO2 didn't seem like it kicked in until much later on the low pass. So, and I think they might have done that to try and hide some of the aliasing. Not aliasing, stepping.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said aliasing.
But you notice it though when the resonance starts to go up, right? So
yeah, big time.
With the resonance,
resonance, yeah.
Then the stepping just starts going into it. And I know that Dave Smith had the same problem because he did the same thing, even with higher bit resolution encoders. You still hear it.
Yeah, and that's just the name of the game,
one of those
I
things
guess.
You have to live with if you have to have MIDI control over your filter.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna lose that nice analog sweep, which is, in my opinion.
Well, here's a question though, because I've got Lil Fatty and Slim Fatty, and a Sub 37. I don't recall hearing stepping on any of those, and they're MIDI controllable. Now, honestly, I haven't paid that close of attention, so maybe if I did, I would hear it, but I don't remember that being an issue on either of those. So I don't know. I don't know if there's some way that they're able to interpolate the positioning or something somehow.
They must be doing some little trickery in there that no one else is using that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
But
I'll have to check that again.
If Studio Electronics did say it was their 8-bit encoders that were the cause for the stepping, then that's what it is. I was wondering what that was. And for me, that's a deal breaker. I got to have that analog sweep.
So
the filter.
I mean,
so anyway,
for me, I like to be able to very specifically control or even record back my sweeps on filters and things. And I know I'm not going to get that on this, but I think that there's ways around it via CV, which I'm still searching for a solution for that. So if someone knows, leave a comment. But you could also do keyboard velocity. But that's still not quite going to give me the control I want for automation on that.
Well, if you can automate LFOs come in and out and stop or whatever when you need them to.
That's true.
And
that was a comment.
Then you have to. But then you could use the CV gate or the cut CV input on the Behringer D as your source to modulate the filter cutoff. But resonance, let's see, is there anything for that? No, you'll still have to sweep that one by hand.
Yeah, that's fine.
You do have control over one of the knobs in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
it's not a big. Again, it's something I expect on something like this. anyway, and my Model D. So, yeah.
Yep. But I would prefer having to do that by hand than
get stepping.
I mean, then get that stepping. Cause,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Please.
And, I mean,
no.
And to be fair, I mean, the SEO2 was not. They said it's not a clone. It's inspired by for sure, but they weren't doing what Behringer was doing. This is like a Eurorack shrunk down version of the Model D. Versus the SEO2 is kind of it's got some Model D or MiniMoog inspired sounds, and obviously the filter, I think it was supposed to be a nice ladder filter with some extra features. So, and for some people, they're going to want the preset, the ability to save the presets. Obviously, you can't do that on the Model D or the Behringer D or the Model D.
And I'm not trying to knock on the SEO2. It does sound good. It does have its moments where it has almost its own Roland-esque sound to it.
Yeah.
Coupled with the Moog, if you will.
Yeah.
So it's got moments in there that are sweet sounding, and that sequencer on there too. It's dope.
Yeah.
So
I like them all, man.
There's benefits to both.
I have all of them for a reason. So
there you go.
I like all of them. And they all have their strengths, their weaknesses, but in this particular case, since we're talking about the Behringer D, I don't know. Are you supposed to call it the Behringer D or the Behringer Model D? 'Cause if you call it the Model D, I get confused because I call the MiniMoog the Model D, which it actually is the Model D because it was A, B, C, and then D is this one.
Yep.
So I think that calling it the Behringer D makes more sense, not Model D, but.
I think they should just call it the D.
That's what I think too. That's why
simplify
it. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think Behringer's doing some good things, and can't wait to see what else they got coming. Although I think that the marketing tactics are starting to get a little annoying. But other than that, I like what they're doing.
Tease less, show more.
Yeah. Yeah, quit picking on Roland.
That's my 2 cents. Give us some sound, guys. Give us something to listen to.
Well, send me a demo. Send me a demo unit. They'll never do that.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think they're doing good stuff over there. And so we got the OB6 clone that they've teased a little bit. Talk about the UB6. That one's probably going to be a real thing within the next year or so.
UBXA. It's not a 6 clone. It's an 8-voice clone.
Yeah. What did I say? I'm thinking of
it's the OB6.
I'm thinking of OB6.
Yeah, you're thinking this.
See what I mean?
The OBXA is the one they're cloning. It's an 8-voice bi-multi-timbral synth that is just amazing.
Yeah.
The OB6 doesn't have multi-timbrality. It's this thing. It's a 6-voice synth, but the multi-timbrality part is where you got 2 synths basically in one synth.
Right.
So you can blend the sounds together, and that's where the OBXA, the original one, is actually better in some ways than the OB6. And if they do eventually come up with it, I'm guessing a year or 2 years. That's where I put my money. Year at the very earliest. 2 years earliest.
That's what I'm hoping for, to get my hands on big time. That one, and I hope they do an R2600s because these are synths that I'm never going to be able to buy an original version. So I definitely want. If Behringer's able to do a decent job with the clone, like what they did here with the... So now they've got 2 synths where they've done a really good job, the D-12 and the Behringer D. Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on that.
Definitely. I'm curious too. And it looks like now they're cloning these chips. They've actually made their own variants of the chips that came from the original synths. They should be rolling them out hopefully faster than they did with the DeepMind 12 and even with the D now. So hopefully we'll see some ramping up of processing on
They
these
said
things.
it's
the making of them.
They said it's going to be an interesting year, or an exciting year, I think is what they said on one of my videos.
We shall see.
So yeah,
I'm curious about the VCS3. That's also on their list of Synths.
Oh, is it?
Have you ever heard of that thing?
The what?
Yeah, it's called the Synths VCS3. That thing looks. If they're actually going to clone that, that would be interesting. The only way they're going to do that one with any effect is if they.
Isn't the VCS like
for it?
The VCS has like no like normal type of controls on it or something?
Nothing is normal. You have to patch everything together.
Well, so a lot of people are into
that. It's like
that
building
stuff.
your own circuit.
I'm sure people would still love that today, I think. Probably more than they would have a few years back.
Yeah, I think even Moog, I can't say it right either now, have done something similar to that with a tiny synth that they've made. So
Moog did?
The name of that one. Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think I...
could be... It might be Korg, but I'm pretty sure it's Moog. Put together a little patchable synth. You'll have to look it up.
I will.
It's in there.
I'll have to check that out. That's something I didn't know about. I mean, I'm not super into the patching. That's why I'm not a modular guy at this stage. I mean, it's not impossible, but I don't see myself really getting into that unless there's some real, like, I need that for, like, I have to have it or I'm irrelevant. But I think with most of the synths that I have, like, I'm doing okay. And I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to remember where I put all the cables. It's one thing to remember how the panel's set for some sounds, but then you see some spaghetti's messes of some of those modular synths, and I'm like, how do I remember where all that shit goes? I'm sure they write it down or something, but man, I don't want to do that. It'd take you like an hour just to patch it up.
Yeah, I think they get used to the patches after a while. You just have to sit there and patch until you get things to where you want them.
Yeah.
But at that point, you've kind of in your mind's eye, you kind of know where things are going to be patched. The only problem is then you got all this spaghetti in front of you, so you're just trying to get to these knobs through all the spaghetti and change your sound.
I mean, it was one thing on the big ass modulars because they were big. They were big as a wall. And you can still get to the knobs, but now with the Eurorack stuff, it's so tiny. But yeah, with all the spaghetti noodles everywhere, that would be an issue, I think. Although I watch people and they love them, and that's totally cool. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, same. I got a little bit of a modular Eurorack, but I think I'm probably not going to delve too much further. I just know it's a rabbit hole that can eat up all your money.
All your money.
Too much. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and all your time.
So is this.
That's true. This has been expensive.
Either way.
The last 2 years, I've really been picking up a lot of gear. I actually just bought a Virus Ti2 as well.
Oh wow.
I have no more.
$1,000?
Yeah, I got a good deal actually on it through Sweetwater. So.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, it definitely eats up your money, but if I can get the sounds I want out of them, that's what I want. That's what I want them for. So.
Well, the D is your gateway drug. You got all the patch points, now you got to put something in there.
Yeah.
You're going to have to buy yourself an LFO module. You're going to have to buy yourself a sequencer.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I think that's what they're going for with the D. Obviously, I think that there's two people are going to want this. People that want the Model D type sound, the MiniMoog Model D, but don't want to spend $3,000 on one. And then you got the modular folks who are going to want this to stick in their Eurorack because this is a great sounding synth. And to get that in your modular setup is going to be dope, I think, for a lot of people in that space.
Yeah, I think it works for everybody. And that's one of the smart moves that Behringer pulled off here.
They've been real smart with these products, these new synths, man. Really impressed with them, and they're doing a good job.
And I'm guessing too that you can use MIDI to. I'm not sure on this, but it looks like they have LFO outputs. Maybe you can modulate the LFO with MIDI input. Have you tried any of that?
I have not.
Or is
I
there a way to
haven't.
do that?
I'm not even sure what the extent is of the MIDI implementation. Whether it's just note on off, and that's it.
It's got to be probably just MIDI note on off. I think everything is analog on that thing except for the A440 tuning switch.
Right.
So I could be wrong, but it would be cool if you could do some MIDI to CV conversion with that LFO out stuff. But
that would be cool.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, but
yeah, I'm sure it's just going to run on the rate that you have dialed in with the knobs on the modulation section.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, cool.
There's still plenty to be learned about what the Behringer D can do, and again, I'm not a paid Behringer person. I'm not trying to toot their horn, but they did an awesome job on the Behringer D, and I was very skeptical when they announced this. I was not happy at first. So I'm glad that they did this, and they did it really well, I think.
I would agree. And I don't even own one.
Right.
So,
are you planning on getting one?
I'm planning on it, but I don't know when. I'm kind of like
at some point
put a cap on my spending right now for just about everything gear wise.
Yeah.
I gotta put out material before I start deciding I wanna
what to
invest
add
into anything more.
Yeah.
So
we'll get on that. Say everyone, check out Mr. CowFood's SoundCloud. It's right there, SoundCloud/CowFood. Check it out. And CowFood, thanks for joining me on the show here, man. Was there anything else you want to add to this topic?
I think that's it. That's everything.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, sir. I really appreciate you having you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Wealth of knowledge.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and you know so much stuff. I'm just like, yeah, I need CowFood on. We need to talk to CowFood about this. So anyways, yeah, thanks folks for tuning in. CowFood, you're the man. Hope the cows keep eating you. And
they do. They keep me up at night. Nightmares.
Nightmares. Afraid of the cows. All right, guys.
Exactly.
We'll talk to you later. And this is Marshall. Stay tuned. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Comment below. Let us know what you think of the Behringer D. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like. That'd be great. And that's it. Bye.
Ciao.